So we're going to be back with another Age of Mythology Retold casted game to watch. This one, straight out of the ladder, is going to be Husk Soup, the current number one player. Number one player has actually gone around quite a few people recently, but Soup has been a dirty Tsukiyomi abuser. That was, I think, his words, or at least similar words that I may have butchered, that he was saying on his Discord. He's saying he was playing a lot of Tsukiyomi. Tsukiyomi's very strong raiding god. You can also go into those Tengus that are still good. They're not as busted as they once were, but still very good. I like Soup's builds too. He gets the Miko out right at the start, and I would suggest this if you're playing Tsukiyomi or Susano. I would just suggest trying Soup's build out that he does here. It's really simple. It's the first two go over to food, then 1 gold, 1 wood, and then the rest food, basically, up until you get the temple with extra Miko, first of all. Really simple. It means you get your temple up at a good time. It means you get more Mikos out. And then right towards the end of the Archaic Age, you get 1 more Miko, and it is absolutely sick. And on this side, we haven't said yet, it is Matty, El Matador, playing as the set. Mr. APM, we're going to call him. Extremely strong player. And this map does spawn a decent amount of relics. So let's have a look at some of these. This Hecate's Torch is going to be God Power cooldown, which is just a sick relic. It's going to be good for either side. Maybe multiple Shifting Sands would be pretty good with this one. Makes it a little bit cheaper. Could be nice. Got Heavenly Jeweled Spear, which is your Yari Spearman or your usual Spearman. Have a little bit more range. So basically like a mini Sarissa. It's going to be very nice. Arrow of Heracles, which is extra damage for your ranged dudes. Kopesh of Horus, extra damage for your hero dudes. And we got 2 more because this map, which is Marsh, which means you have more extra, what is this? All damage from buildings? What is this? Adds 2, oh, this is the does extra damage to buildings situation. And then finally, we have the Hunting Bow, which is gather from huntables 5% faster. I didn't even know this was a relic. Is this a new relic, or have I just barely ever see it? But anyway, huntables. I actually had a comment that I'm S tier at reading relics, which I thought was quite funny. I butcher the reading. Maybe it was a sarcastic comment, but anyway, here it comes. Temple coming up with the Miko. Always the play, unless you're going super heavy on the favor, but there's kind of no need to. I think it's the best bang for your buck in terms of getting dudes out right there. And then back over on this side, what is Matty going for? Looks like he's getting his temple up with a couple of villagers, and we'll be going for pretty standard advance times. Not going for any super crazy early ones, or even just hanging out till a little bit later. Just going for your standard, like between 3 minutes and 3:30. If you click up between that, it's normally going to be what we would call a standard advance time. And Anubis coming through from the set. I like Anubis. You can put some good pressure on with your Anubites. The Mikos obviously can heal up that damage, but if you get a couple of Anubites with their special and their upgrade, you can get some good damage. You can snipe a villager before this Miko might have a chance to react. If you were to sneak around the side, grab this one. By the time the Miko walks over, you could get something done. And we have Inari Okami on this side. Yeah, I think the stream did crash for a second, so sorry about that one. It just kind of just pinged off and back on. So hopefully it's all working now. Not something I usually get either, so hopefully it is fixed up. We've got the Water Buffalo of set coming around. Let's have a look and see what the set's actually seen. So we saved this vision, usual thing for sets to do. Sometimes on a map like this, you might use it to see where the boars are, but also you don't really need to. I mean, you're going to know exactly where the boars are for this map. They're always right in the middle. And actually a pretty weird vision being used just to see the base on this side, maybe hoping there was a town center there. And then down goes the Plague of Serpents, just to be annoying. This doesn't really do too much apart from just a little bit of idle time, but it does stop Soup from putting either early pressure on with some kind of early building to come down, or if you're going for a town center build, then this does delay the town center sometimes if you catch it on the right wood line. But they're all going to get sniped down eventually. And that is 1 God Power used early doors. Standard Temple is going to be getting that Anubite through. It's like Soup's chilling with his Spider Lady plus Kitsune combo in the middle. So speeding her up to 4.2. So she can actually come in and get some damage. The Pharaoh will be around any of the villages though. So I don't think Matty's going to really have a problem. In comes Anubite number 1. looking for his target. He's going to see Amiko, and maybe Soup will start to slap that guy down. I mean, he does know exactly where those villagers were because he did spot them. They have finished up on this food source. There is a food source at this top side. The Anubite goes to jump over the watermill, but unfortunately doesn't quite make it. And the Miko is going to scare that boy away. Also, when there's just one of these guys, they are going to lose to the Miko, so you do have to kind of watch out. But there is going to be a second one coming behind. And Soup actually has a decent amount of Mikos out here. Nice jump, nice manual jump special just to get it right in front of the tower of where those units will be. No upgrade yet, so not doing quite as much damage as he probably would have liked. But actually deciding to just turn around and shank while trying to heal up the Mikos. And unfortunately, this is what I was saying about 2. With 1, you can normally heal up the damage pretty nicely, but as soon as you get the second dog in, it's pretty difficult. So nice snipe there from Matty. Does have some Naginata Riders, does Soup, so just bring those back to heal up. And I wondered why this one didn't come through, and it is because he got Serpent Spear first. So actually going for Serpent Spear with a block of Spearmen to come through, which is going to be a nice counter to what Soup has built so far. So I'm liking Matty's position so far. He does have the counter units. They're a very soft counter, but still they are a nice time. And yeah, it does say I'm streaming again. So I'm sorry if it's messing up. I can look at the settings in a minute. Bit silly. Anyway, Jorogumo is in, and I'm pretty sure she one-shot Spearman with her special. It's pretty ridiculous. So maybe the Anubite could jump on there. Bushy in to deal with that Anubite. Only one more shot. That was a pretty big snipe there. Normally these Bushies at the first shot, they're pretty drunk. And you see right there, did actually miss that last one, but he was a little bit far away. Matty can just send this one back home, especially with the priest should be around. You could just send him to the priest, kind of shift click off of your hippos, go onto that, and then back onto the hippos and not really lose out on much time at all. How would you play Hades versus Tsukiyomi? That might be a question for a later time, as another snipe coming in for Matty. So he's playing this early game so nicely. And actually Soup, with his Naginata Riders, normally you want to use these on the aggression, whereas as defensive units, they're not so good, but he does have double Spider in, so yeah, it is pretty much one shot on those Spearmen. And Soup is chasing Matty away. Matty getting some slingers in even. Just choosing to get some slingers. Going to be a good answer to those bushies. Also Yumi Archers coming in from Soup, so does want to play this kind of defensive situation. All the Spearmen just streaming through. So these ones are coming back home. Maybe they're coming home to get healed up. And one dog does get caught out, but jumps over the fence. No problems at all. One bushy kind of straying away. And the Spearman should be able to snipe that one down. But losing an Anubite there is not what Matty wants. Big pickup for Soup. If he wants to keep withstanding this kind of pressure. Has found himself a little bit far behind, but not too far behind. Just losing a couple of villagers there. He can get a nice raiding party off with these Naginata Riders, then he should be in a pretty good spot. The issue is, Set, he never really has to leave his base for food if he's got enough priests out. So you have like 2 or 3 priests out getting food for you, and they're not raided down by the Naginata Riders, then you're just going to have a good time. The Kitsune, they don't have their upgrade either, so they're actually not as tanky as they possibly could be, so might get sniped down kind of quickly. But Matty, respecting the spiders. And the villagers should be, or villagers units should be able to get away. And Matty's actually, he's got a decent sum of units here. Looks like he just wants to stick it out in this classical age completely. Whereas Soup, he looks like he's going for some kind of heroic age off of a small amount of units. So does kind of force himself back. Is distracting with these units while the majority of Matty's units are sniping this side. And those bushies are going to go down. Anubites to take out the spider ladies is nice. Poison damage on those girls as well. Yeah, he actually bounces back with 4 HP. He must do 90 damage with this amount of hack armor. So pretty much a one shot. Nice bit of micro moving around, but that is double spider lady plus bushy taken out for a couple of spearmen. I think Matty will be more than happy. Whereas Soup did manage to get his units in a decent spot to get a raid off, but then Matty's just built more units. As we said, he wants to stick it out in this classical age for a little bit longer, so he's more than happy to produce more spearmen and defend this raid pretty nicely. But we do know that Tsukiyomi's power spike comes in the 3rd age, the heroic age, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Hachiman going to be coming in and getting those copper shields, copper armor. Probably wants to drop his new moon to get all of the armory upgrades for free once you get the bronze line, and that'll be very, very nice. And Matty, is he just still massing up units? It's like he is. He is getting a bit of copper armor in himself. This is the one thing about playing against Tsukiyomi is, you know, well, you've seen that Soup hasn't built that many units, so you're expecting Heroic Age to come in at some point. And if you get caught out with even if Soup has half the units, but he has 2 lines of upgrades and you don't have any, then it's just going to be a tough time, and he's just going to trade extremely well. And that's where Soup wants to find his advantage. Also getting that Ivory Netsuke upgrade. Am I going to make a Japanese build order video? To be honest, I haven't. I don't know if I will. It's pretty easy though. They're pretty simple build orders. It does manage to snipe a couple of villagers there. Tengu coming in, more Tengus on the way. Even managing to snipe a shrine down too. I mean, I could do a video of all of the build orders again, because I feel like they change every couple of months. Like every easy build order. And Soup, he is massing these Tengu, so even though he is down basically 10 villagers now, 9 villagers, it's quite a lot. If he can get some raids off just to bring himself back in, he will be fine. This is a pretty nice defensive spot up here. Not much Matty can do unless he wants to do a dock plus transport ship. And New Moon is going to be in, and the Shogun, he is going to be one tanky lad, also using all his god powers at once. The Kappas getting dropped down, and the Slingers maybe caught out a little bit. These Kappas are getting so many kills. Matty just needs to run off of this position. I don't know how many Slingers just went down then, but it's not ideal. Matty can definitely turn around and fight though. The Shogun is full HP. You have to watch out for that one. But maybe this isn't the answer to the Tengus here. Doesn't have many Anubites left. There is a priest over here that can definitely be tossed in. In comes one medium samurai. You can see how long they tank for. These are just spearmen here. They're not axemen. Normally axemen would carve these boys up. Spearmen are not as much base damage as they used to have. Sashimono Bannerman even, which is extra HP for your cavalry units. Also makes them better against other cav, but that doesn't really matter in this current situation, as Matty's going pure barracks units. No horses to be found here. But Matty, he's found himself another gold mine. I like these walls. Just very early walls. He hasn't been under pressure much at all, but just wants to respect the potential of just a couple of Tengus coming in. They can retreat past the wall. And actually, these spearmen getting caught out a little bit. I think he wanted to go for a raid on this top side, and finding out he can't. And Sekhmet going to be on the way, so Sekhmet wants those potential slinger upgrades, maybe going for the chariot archers. Didn't go Patar though, so can't have those super slingers if that's what he wants to go for, with the extra divine damage also. And there are some Yumi horse archers on Soup's side. And I mean, Matty, his APM's crazy, so I could definitely imagine him going for some kind of chariots. Basically, any horse archers in his hands are extremely strong. But he has fully committed, though, to medium slingers, medium spearmen, decent amount of upgrades. This daimyo is kind of taking a beating, but tanking a decent amount of slinger fire. Soup kind of ring around the rosies currently. He is down a lot of population, so doesn't really want to take a direct fight, otherwise he'll probably lose it. So using his speed is definitely to his advantage. And the Tenku Master, look how much damage these boys do. The Slingers are just distracted for so long. They're not even half HP. How are the Slingers losing this fight? But it turns out they do. That is brutal. Coming back into this one, just on the back of the Tengu. Yumi Horse Archers in its backside getting so much damage. And that is just all of Matty's units, but just taken down in one go. Absolutely brutal. Scarab, let's go down to this side, get some damage over some daimyos. It's quite a few daimyo heroes in. Not really many myth units from Matty's side. Potentially using them because they get decent armory upgrades. They get more armor. Maybe that's the reason. Just wants a couple of tanks on this front line. Actually, Matty being pushed off of this because he's just been able to have the pressure for so long because he's had the overwhelming amount of units. He's just deleted all his units in front of his base when it's not ideal, but Soup feels like he can't push much further, and Migdal Stronghold going up on this side, and Matty, he is going into those chariot archers. Bone boat, extra range, 2 extra range, and even got his Pharaoh on that one, getting a Levy Migdal Stronghold soldiers, so he can just spam those boys out as quickly as possible. And the Pharaoh on the Migdal Stronghold or on a barracks, you can see how quick these guys actually come through. If you're trying out Egyptians, I would just recommend moving your Pharaoh around constantly rather than just sitting him on a gold mine. The amount that he produces units at, the rate that he produces units at is absolutely crazy. So quick. And securing his second gold mine nicely. I definitely prefer him doing it on this gold mine here. There's no point doing it down here. He's already lost half of the units. And actually, Yumi Horse Archer is getting caught out. A nice Kavoth move here, hiding the chariots in the Migdal Stronghold. And it's going to get a nice bit of return fire, which is definitely needed. Matty's still up in villagers, though. So even though he did lose that last fight pretty hard, it's not so bad. The only issue is his slingers are just not really very useful. I think maybe he's overbuilt the slingers. And the heavy Naginata Riders now in with their 60% pierce armor. I mean, these slingers with just 4.8 DPS, but at 60% pierce armor, it just doesn't do anything. Interesting on this side. Just some eco upgrades coming in from this side. We've got both sides exactly the same time, getting survival equipment. Expecting some raids on both ends. How many Tengus are we seeing? So we've got 3 in the army, and then I think that's it. No, none have kind of swayed around. But Naginata Rider just feeling himself a little bit. Heavy chariots, and yeah, this Pharaoh is just sitting on here. I love it. Matty here, just spending all his resources. I think, what is Soup going to be up to? It looks like he hasn't spent anything for a while, just saving up for those eco upgrades. His eco is looking like he's going into wanting more of these Yumi Horse Archers, and it could be a bit of a Horse Archer fight. I guess the Slingers are here to deal with the Horse Archers. They just weren't there on that last fight, so the Slingers definitely need to be microed in a way where they can get here. The issue is that if they move too far forward, they just get carved down by those Naginata Riders. They're just not really finding the targets they want. And the Camel Riders are countered pretty nicely. Basically, the whole Migdal army is countered by this Tsukiyomi here. And empowering the Migdal Stronghold also lets us do more damage, which is nice. Shogun's still about half HP, so could tank for a solid while. Chariots need to garrison in here just to run away a little bit. Looks like the Slingers are doing that one too. And yeah, definitely tasking the Pharaoh back on to one of those myth units is a good shout. Then just bring him straight back on the Migdal Stronghold. He does more damage that way. And Soup actually managing to push underneath this Migdal, forcing idle time on these villagers. Not much gold left on this side. Matty is grabbing a town center though, and Soup doesn't really have the units to take this one out unless the Tengus are good against Migdals. Not really. They don't have any hack. They do have 45 hack armor after they dive through, so that's definitely nice. Matty, he's trying to micro as best he can, but again, just when that Tengu uses his special, he's just so tanky. And what is Soup doing? Again, he's just trying to just spam more dudes out, put on this pressure. The spearmen trying to run through, trying to look for some. I think maybe they were trying to look for some raids, or maybe just overshooting where they were heading there, trying to desperately defend. These Tengus, man. The Tengus just do way too much damage. How do they still do this much? I mean, I don't think nothing damage-wise got nerfed about them. Nothing about how tanky they are. They were just more expensive. But against no priests, yeah, now the priests are out. You need priests. You need the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh did go down, so the Tengu just gets huge values. Criminal. See Soup actually. Let's move to his point of view. He's got Miko. He's got Mikos everywhere. It's a nice map for him, to be honest. So many wood lines with a decent amount of other resources next to it, which means that he's getting a decent amount of favor in. Well, not even a decent amount, a ridiculous amount. But Matty, back on his gold mine, can even come up here, go on these hippos. And so chilling in the middle of the base, or the middle of the map, is grabbing a forward town center. Matty wants to secure this one. Do they see each other? They don't see each other. They don't see each other. That's wild. The town center should spot this situation, right? You'd like to think. 4 seconds left, and we can tell for sure, but it should spot that gold mine. There it is. Siegeworks is on the way, and actually, Matty, Soup wants to come down here to Matty's villagers and finds a pretty nice raid here on the front side. Considering how much food there is on the back, and the units weren't in position, maybe that's a little bit greedy, and does lose a decent amount there. Not ideal. But I think Matty's winning the fight, even though he definitely lost the villagers. So he's winning the fight on this backside. There could be a potential raid coming down here. Tengu plus Naginata Rider combo. But Matty can just jump inside his town center if he's paying attention, which he absolutely is. Kind of paid attention. Or minimum bought his units back. None of them should go down. So it should be fine there. And they're sharing the gold mine for the time being. How many villagers is it to how many? So there's 14 villagers to 21. More laborers there for Matty. So Soup just want to run away. Market come down. Migdal Stronghold on this side. And Matty wants to pressure the middle. But I think he's struggling for resources here. He's got 27 on the food, but these guys weren't actually being traded or trained, sorry. I think it's because he got pushed off on this side. He's got pushed off on this side. He's getting villagers idled everywhere from these brutal raids. But there is a siege works out. Could even get this upgrade if he really wants to commit to some catapults at some point. It's quite expensive to get going, and we said his eco isn't the best, so maybe not the best call for the time being. And Soup does not have that problem. Got so many more villagers now, thanks to extra town centers, some good raids, and his queue is just absolutely full. Love this Yari Spearman being put in the mix too. This Yari Spearman to deal with some of the Camel Riders. They do decently against the Chariot Archers too, if they actually get onto them. And probably just trade a little bit better against the Spearmen than Cavalry is probably why they're mainly there. The Oyumis, they're trying to get in. I think Oyumi balls are a little bit scary. The Migdal Stronghold. Get him pressured on this side. Matty does have gold mines galore up this top side, so he doesn't need it for the gold mines. The amount of pressure, though, it is... He definitely does want it. Even the Tengu's here, man. Look at that. How many shots did that tank compared to how many shots it takes to get rid of a Spearman? One and a bit of volleys. Walls coming up on this side. Soup secures gold mine. After gold mine, secures even just this corner for the ultra late game if it gets to that point. It's always nice to get the corners completely the opposite side to your town center. Now the Pharaoh's over to deal with that boy. And Soup actually just going for just pure Yari Spearman here. Does he have that Tenshi upgrade? I think it's a pretty good one, right? Doesn't have Tenshu doesn't have it yet, but it's just extra damage for your towers and fortresses. And at this stage of the game, it can be a pretty nice upgrade. I think it's quite expensive. Should go back on it, yeah. 350 food, 20 favor. Actually, it's not too bad. Something we just noticed is Matty has almost 150 favor sat in the bank. There's been no real heroes after the Shogun went down on Soup's side, so it definitely could go for some kind of scarabs to push somewhere. Getting more Renubites out probably isn't the call at this point. They're normally just pretty good in the early game. And he doesn't really have the best god powers to reuse. If he went Shifting Sands, you could reuse that one. He does have enough to reuse the Citadel if he wants to pressure some forward situation, if he wanted to grab, or even if he's pressured later on this town center here, he can drop a Citadel. Does more damage, defends a little bit nicer. Nice snipe on the Pharaoh. Here's the main damage dealer for those Tengus. But either way, pretty rough. And what you can also do in most games when you get to this point is use Citadel when you're equal, and then you basically just have a more population to play with. It's very good in the ultra late game. Super's just slapping a castle down right in the middle. It's like Matty, he is trying to grab some boars here, but there's just way too many villagers. Just doesn't know what to do with them. Can't afford farms, so it's going to have to hunt somewhere. And actually, it is just forcing the dogs out. A new bite's coming in. At this point, you just got to just spend it. They can tank for a little bit. They can go on little raids if he really wants to, but I mean, Super's just on every gold mine under the sun. We got, is it Okuninushi? Okuninushi is going to be on the way, and that does get you, he's the dude that gives you the banner that you drop down. You get to use everything again. I'm pretty sure. Why can I never press this button? He gives you the gate, so there'll be another swampland, never another shogun, and a new moon to be used. Probably on the armory is what players do, but I think the castle is a good shout. Advanced fortifications, get all these upgrades in, make sure siege weapons so strong. New bites. You can see what they can do. There really hasn't been enough priests either. I mean, priests against everything else, though, they obviously do struggle. This isn't a matchup where, or this isn't a comp that he's playing against where the healing really comes into play either, because it's just kind of backline versus backline. The healing, the units just tend to get one shot, whereas normally when you get the priests out, you can heal the frontline units. Say you've got some elephants that can tank for a while, you can heal those bad boys up, get the siege towers back up to full HP, something like that. Even some tanky myth units. Oh, Pharaoh trying to come back, trying to deal with it. Soup is right on it. It's going to drop some god power combos. Can just slap the swampland down right in the middle. And actually, as soon as that happens, Matty does say that is enough. Swampland going to get too much value. Going to lose all his dudes. Another shogun coming in. And yeah, Tsukiyomi, he's still pretty good, it turns out.